Welcome to the School Zone, the show all about your local school districts here in the White Mountains. I'm your host, Amy Tregaskes from Show Low. I'm an educator, but mostly a parent. And today I have with me Dr. Mark Tregaskes. He is my father-in-law, and I've twisted his arm to be here. Thank you for being on the show today.
It's a pleasure.
And I also have Dr. Dorsett, and she is our local Show Low junior high school principal. And we're glad you're here too.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Amy.
Megan and Mark. Mark here is coming from the Safford School District for, 32 years. 32 years, and in the superintendent role for 22. And I'm going to brag on him just a little bit. Most recently, I think he was, correct me if I'm wrong, put in the Hall of Fame for Rural Schools Association for your work as a superintendent for rural schools.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm glad that you're here. What I wanted to talk about on our show today was how schools, and especially in our rural area, how schools are important to the community and what they bring to the community, how investing in our schools is a good investment. So, Mark, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, what's really interesting is being here for the first time. I've just found out that those who help produce and make this possible, what's happening right now, are graduates of Show Low public school system, and what a wonderful thing that is. And so I think that that's one thing that's indicative of how important education is, because you can see the results of it right in your own community. It's just a matter of looking around and seeing outstanding people doing some great work for the community and making it a wonderful place to be. I think in addition to that, we can talk in general terms in terms of the importance of education and supporting it. And many people have already heard that type of dialogue before. And if it was me, I'd say, okay, here we go again. And I think it's important that we bring in the personal aspect of it. And for me, if I could relate a very personal aspect of the importance of education, it's when you see where it makes a difference for your own life or the lives of those people who you know best. It was just a few years ago that I found myself in the hospital. And as I was there in the emergency room, I looked around and I saw graduates of the public school system where I had worked for 30-some years. And I thought, boy, I hope we did a really good job with them, because now it really counts. The nurses, even the doctors.
You're still here.
Yes. So that shows you that in addition to the schooling that they had received there locally, they were able to go on and be very successful and then come back and contribute to the community. And whether it be in the medical profession or someone who's going to be working on the brakes on your car, you want to make sure that they know what to do and they do it well. So having people highly trained and skilled is just critical for what we do. And mostly personally, I would say that hopefully everyone has some type of story that they can say, that person made a difference in my life, and then the person who did that would be able to say, well, I had a lot of help along the way. And the help, in addition to parents and other important people in their lives, would, I think, be those who had helped educate them. So it's just, it's a passion for me, and I believe in it very strongly.
Thank you so much. Megan, what about you? How do you feel about education within the community?
Absolutely. Within the community, I live here and I work here, and my kids go to school in the area, and I think it's super important because I want to see maybe my grandkids grow up here and have opportunities for jobs, for a better economy, for tourism, for skills, for better schools, for all of that. And so I think it's very vital that we invest in our children's future and our own future, in essence, to make sure that education is very well established. It pulls on my heartstrings. That's why I'm an educator. That's why I'm here, because I want to invest in our future, and I want to make sure that kids have a bright future and have the skills and the knowledge to contribute, like Mark was saying, to fix our cars and our hearts or whatever it need be. Not to mention, I see we're taking about 3 enrollments per week right now. Last year, we only took at Show Low Junior High School about 1 enrollment per week. So that tells me
what does that mean?
So we're taking in 3 new students every week at our school. that tells me that our community is growing. And with a growing community, we're also going to have a need for more jobs and more businesses, and maybe even inviting some industries here, and then preparing kids to be able to go into the workforce in those places. So I see a lot of opportunity and potential for the White Mountains and the Show Low community to have education be the vehicle that gets our kids there.
That's great. Thank you. What do you see, Mark, as the the role of a school within a community?
The role of any school is going to be to educate our young. That's the number one thing that they do.
Well, if I'm let's say I'm retired. I know you're retired too, but I'm pretending I'm retired, and I don't have any kids, or maybe I just haven't ever had any kids. You know, what is the value of having a school within the community there?
Well, you're talking about those who might at times say, my children are already grown, I contributed to the schools, and now it's someone else's turn to do that because my time has ended. And that's a very common thought. And I would say that it's something that most people will have at one time or another, whether it be supporting the schools or something else that they may not be directly involved in. And if you're not directly involved in something, then it is a further reach to say, is this something that I should be spending my dollars doing as opposed to something that would affect me directly? So I understand that.
So what is your response to that?
I say, I think my response is I understand, and at the same time, it's a matter of also saying we need to always invest in what we do for the betterment of ourselves, our community, our nation. And that investment really is in educating, well, we say our young because you have to start early and then have it make a difference for the rest of their lives. But education, even for those people who might no longer have children in schools, they can still continue to be educated as well with the opportunities that are afforded to them through many other different aspects of the community and what goes on. So I think what it is just sitting back and saying, just as we would with, do we support our farmers? Even though we may not eat as much as what we used to, but we still benefit from it, we will always benefit from being able to support and provide the resources necessary to have an outstanding education system. In the community itself, if you have a very poor education system, it's going to be felt in many different ways, sometimes that aren't seen right away. Such as if you're not having a strong education system, then your students are not trained to do the things that are necessary in order to provide for well-balanced and very strong economy in your community. The second thing is that if you're trying to attract those to come in who would make your community even a better place, one thing that they'll always take a look at considering when they move is how good are the schools? Because parents are going to be concerned about what's going to happen for their children when they're being educated. And if you have a strong education system, that goes a long ways to helping people say, Show Low is where I would like to be. And one of the reasons I would like to be there is that their schools, teachers, staff are just incredible, and I would love to be a part of that.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Megan, you're doing some amazing things to help raise good citizens at our junior high school, and I would love it if you would share some of those things, because I would like our community to know some of the great things that our schools bring to the table, ways that they can be educated as well, like you said, by coming and participating, and just some of the things that you're doing as a school to help our community.
Okay, all right. So I kind of want to comment on the retiree, why should I invest?
Please.
Well, you know, I've been doing a lot of research in robotics and robotic applications, and we happen to have a STEM and robotics club at our school that's going to be going to competition soon, and the kids are really excited about it. We also have coding going on in our keyboarding class to complement keyboarding, because that can get kind of boring sometimes, and I understand that. But I don't know if you know, there's some technologies out there where there's robots doing surgery, and there's a surgeon and maybe a computer technician in the other room actually programming the robot to do the surgery, these microscopic surgeries. So to that retiree who might not be totally invested in the community or have children or grandchildren here, it's like, like, well, what about that robot surgeon, you know, down the years that you might need to depend on? So I think that's an important part. So we have this STEM and Robotics Club. We also have National Junior Honor Society that does community service projects. Our student council is organizing a lot of character development with our school through different canned food drives, poster contests, and the like. So Mr. Hummer, our dean, actually came up to me in the summer and said, let's have a theme for next year. And I said, okay, what is it? And he's like, well, let's do RISE. And I said, all right. And so we worked with it a little bit, and RISE stands for Respect, Inspire, Serve, and Excel. And that's what we expect all of our students to do and our staff at Shiloh Junior High School.
It's very impressive.
I love it. I love it.
Because the students have really embraced it there
Yes.
at the school. And what great traits to help build.
Right, right. So we, each month there's a different character trait. December happens to be caring month, and so every day we have a caring task for students to do, to give kudos to somebody they don't know. Like today was say hi to somebody you don't know and smile. You know, simple things like that that can build culture and community in the school. So each month we have a poster contest. We nominate courageous cougars of character, my Triple C club, and take them out to pizza and have fun with them. We have Optimist Club that nominates quarterly different kids that do quieter leadership duties amongst our school and amongst the community. We have RISE recognition for staff. So kids and parents can go and recognize staff for a job well done. And then we also have RISE rewards for students. So in the classrooms and out of the classrooms, we hand out these tickets for a job well done, especially if it aligns with that character trait for the month. They go in for a drawing and get a prize each month. So we have lots of kids that are, last year, you know, we had something similar, but the jar never filled up. This year, like you said, the kids are embracing it. That jar is filling up every single month. So it's awesome. And let's see, what else do? We just did, last month, November was a service month. And we had the community and the kids come together for camp food drive and preparing Thanksgiving meals for 17 families in need. So that was an awesome thing to see, not only our kids, but it's rippled out to the community, and we're all helping each other to help those in need. So, I mean, those are some tidbits. I could go on and on and on, but I'm sure you might have more questions.
Well, I think those are great. Like, they focus on the RISE, and I like how you said that you are working to have students recognize that there is a job well done in a day of instant gratification. That we're trying to teach our kids to look for that job well done, because they are going to be our future leaders in our community. So I love that. What else do you have going on that helps build good citizenship?
Absolutely. Okay, so a branch off of our Courageous Cougars with Character and our RISE theme is Cougar Days. So something we instituted last quarter and that we're getting ready to do at the end of this quarter is we've selected small groups that go with each mentor teacher. And that mentor teacher spends the whole half day with them, doing different team building, culture building, ice breaking activities. And then this next round, we're going to do reindeer games. So we're going to have friendly competitions between the groups. But we thought it was really important that the teachers build a relationship with the students. And this way they have a go-to at any point in time amongst their group of students, and then as well as the mentor teacher. Hey, I'm having a rough day. Can I talk to you? Or hey, I just got an A. Can I celebrate with you? And so we're hoping that really takes off and sparks a fire with these kids and the mentors, and hopefully the teachers rise up and loop with the kids. So if I'm in 7th grade, I'm going to have the same mentor in 8th grade, and then we're going to really build a tight bond with that group.
The ultimate goal being to work with people, right? To communicate and to develop those friendships.
Right.
And I think that's good for our community too.
Absolutely.
To have teenagers that do that. Like, how powerful is that to have teenagers that can communicate with other people and work through problems together?
One thing that we'll do in December, our December Cougar Days, is we're going to make dove ornaments and write letters to service people that are across the seas, and then send all these out to them. So we're really excited to work with VFW and make that possible. So
That's
we
great.
try to embed service everywhere we go and linking to the community.
I think you guys also give back a lot. You have Donuts for Dad.
Absolutely.
Like, that was really well attended. How
Loved
did
it.
that go?
Yeah, so we've had a few events. We had Fall into Math Night, we had Donuts for Dad, and we had a Veterans Ice Cream Social.
That's right.
So we
yes.
had a fabulous turnout for every single one. The one that maybe surprised us the most was Fall into Math Night. Because, math, boring, right? But the math teachers got all the kids to make these games and then attend and host and facilitate those games. And then families went around and went to each of the games and played the games, earned basically a passport for pizza and prizes and things like that. We had over 200 attend to hang out and do math for a couple hours. That was awesome.
That's really great.
The Donuts for Dads, I mean, we went through... We ordered 22 dozen donuts, but then we had to go out and get about 5 more dozen. So that gives you a metric of how many dads and kids showed up. We'll do
I
muffins
know my
for
husband
moms
came.
too. Yeah,
That was important.
It was great.
to
It
get
was
a donut.
great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And to see the kids and the dads mingling and talking. Last year it was a lot quieter. Kind of like the dads were like, well, I don't know if I can hang out with my kid at school. But this year they've embraced it and they're loving it, and they were talking to each other and the kids. And then Veterans Ice Cream Social, we had about 40 or 50 attend, many veterans, and the kids all went.
But you had a program too, and that's something
yeah.
I think that all the schools in Cholo do really
Absolutely.
well, not just in Cholo, but I think just on the mountain. They teach respect really well. And that's powerful and seen powerfully in those Veterans Day programs.
Absolutely. Our kids really enjoyed it. They were very respectful. They did a great job. And the teachers that put it together, the veterans that came, they did a wonderful job. So.
And that's your R in Rise,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. That's right.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you both so much. So, did you have another comment?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay, I thought you did. Before we end, though, there's other ways that we can appreciate a school in the community. We can come out by attending, and we can also donate. So if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Oh my goodness, this community is awesome. Between our Rise rewards, the Donuts for Dads, the staff recognition, I could bring a list and rally them all off, but we've probably had 30 different community organizations donate gift cards or things for us to give to kids and to staff. And it really
investing in our community and in education.
Nice.
I love
so
that.
Nice. And I feel so, like, for our school, we feel so surrounded and supported that we're basically embedded right into the community, and I see it as a reciprocal relationship. They're giving to us, we're giving back to them, and we seem to understand that as a community. So I really appreciate being here to do this job, having my kids here, my family here as well, and just being part of it. So
Something specifically about tax credits.
Well, tax credits is one of the ways to donate. So how much can we donate for tax credits?
So you can donate $250 as a single or up to $400 as a couple. And then, so the way that tax credits work is that you're paying taxes anyway. So it's a better way for you to direct those taxes right to your school or to your child or to your team. So we get
because you get to say what you want it to go to.
Right, exactly. So other than, because you have to pay taxes anyway, so you get to direct it, and instead of it going into this cloud of the unknown called the state pocket, we can actually say, hey, it's going to Shiloh Junior High School or Blue Ridge High School or wherever you're going with your kids. And
can you be even more specific and say it's going to like the Blue Ridge Music Department?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can do it for clubs, STEM club, the different clubs at your schools. It will work for field trips. So any information for tax credits the district office can help with, and that's just an easy way to direct our money and make sure that it stays into our community. It's a good deal. It's a win-win.
That's
It's good.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for watching the show today, and I hope that you have taken away just a little bit more the importance of a school in a community and good schools in a community, how it's a give and take, and how hopefully our children today will become those leaders tomorrow, and we will be thankful for what we have invested in our schools.